War is inevitable.
But then I was like, well, I'm not going to pick it up because nobody else picks it up.
You've made the right choice.
We should have grabbed some brew.
Time of massive come!
He spectated Zombie because he's just like running into walls.
I'm a wizard!
Baron Heel is a skill shot.
Split push.
Victory is ours!
Howdy, folks. Welcome
to Skip Push.
episode 65 of Split Push. No longer a console perspective.
Oh,
So,
I know. We lost that tagline.
We've
We did.
moved
Rip.
off the island here and are mostly all now on PC, although there's still some consoles sprinkled in. But along with me here today is my good buddy Yuki.
I have the plague from Beagle's computer.
Yes, you do. I'm sorry about that. We'll talk later.
Yes, we will. Papa Yuki's gonna put you in timeout.
I know. It's going to be a sore ass for this one. But also along with me here today is my oldest and unwisest son, Dirtnap Dan.
Hey, he got it right this week.
Something like that. Guy's out of town. And, well, you heard Beagle's computers at Yuki's, so, yeah, she's not with us here tonight because her cat likes to destroy every pair of headphones I give her, or earbuds, so, well, damn that squirrel. It's a cat named Squirrel, because he's got a gray fluffy tail like a squirrel. But anyway, I digress. And a very special guest that I'm thankful to have on finally. It's been too long. It's my good buddy, Fro Double G.
Hey, ladies, what's up?
I got a little wet. I ain't gonna lie.
But anyway, I was just saying, I appreciate having you on the show. I mean, we're both original whammies from the old Defend Middle Lane days. We were PS4 buddies way back in the day. And then, we both got busy doing podcasts. So why don't you tell
I think it's
our
been
audience?
like 3 years of whammydom.
Yeah,
Or something
because
like that.
we were like the top. We were the first three community section responses, I think.
I wasn't in the first couple. I didn't catch them on until their first episode with Duke, but I made up for lost time.
Mine were so well written that even when they had too many to read, mine still were. And that got Brian in trouble. I laughed really good that day. I was cracking up laughing. I was actually merging into traffic at that point in time, laughing my ass off as Matt was reamed into happiness for reading yet another Dirtnap's dad response. But Fro, why don't you tell our audience here a little bit about yourself and, what you've been doing here. I know you got your own podcast, you're Olympian, so, well, I don't want to spoil all the goods. I'll let you do that.
Yeah. Well, to start off my Smite career in general a little bit, I started as just a fan, a whammy, of the VD2 podcast, and then when they decided to move away from Smite a little bit, much like you guys, we decided to make our own little Smite podcast, and from there, got a few listeners, and then after HRX, I think it was on the way home, they posted about the Olympians, and I was sitting at the airport, and I was like, I'm going to fill out my application, and I just sat there, filled out application on my way home from HRX, sitting at the airport with my wife, and I got lucky enough to have Duke Sloth basically say, hey, check this guy out.
I remember that. That was really cool.
Yeah, dude, he gave us both props, and I'm like,
oh, yeah, that's right, he gave you two.
Dude, we were both in there. I was like, high five, that was so great. Just seeing, like some of my personal Smite idols call you out like that. That was a great feeling.
Yeah.
God, what do we do next year? Are we still PS4 players? How does that work?
No.
Crap, I gotta play some PS4 now.
Yep. That island has faded into the rearview mirror.
Yeah, so I know even I play a little bit over on the Xbox and PC side now. Still mainly
Yeah,
PS4 because I'm the PS4 non-Conquest Olympian. That's the one I end up getting. I wanted to apply because, okay, my top game mode is Assault, but right behind that, I like Conquest. And I wanted to run for the Conquest one, but I'm like, there's just no way in hell because...
There's just no way in hell leaves call. Fuck this game. I'm out.
Yep. No way in hell I can stay in this Discord call. No way in hell. There's Fro.
Your bot
Maybe.
keeps kicking me out.
So, Fro, as you were saying before we got so pleasantly distracted.
You're an Olympian and stuff now. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much so. I'm an Olympian now. Got it for the non-Conquest because, I didn't think I'd get it for the Conquest, which is fair. But, yeah, it was really exciting. They actually flew us down to Alpharetta, right next to Atlanta. What was it, like 2-3 weeks ago at this point? Got to see a lot of these changes that were in the patch notes today. It was really cool. Got to see also like how the inner workings of everything went down.
Is it hard not spilling the beans?
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. It is so hard. Dude, that's probably one of the worst aspects of it.
Honestly, I'm like, that's one of the reasons I'm glad it didn't happen for me, because I'm like, you know how hard it would be with my kids to not, like sorry. You're not
Eagle would
enough.
literally melt down. She melted down because Yuki said she had gifts to give with her computer. She literally like melted down for like 2 days and was like, I want to know. I hate surprises. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, then you would not appreciate this because Smite 2020 is ruined for me already. I mean, don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing. Smite, big things coming. Like, 2020 is going to be hype.
Yeah.
Right, but it's so hard not to just be like, this is what's happening, oh my god!
Yeah, I really hope they got a few things that they didn't tell us about, so I got something to enjoy.
Oh,
like this,
always has a couple of curveballs.
They mentioned, and I'll bring it up a little bit more, in the collective community skin. Like that, we roughly talked about them and nothing was confirmed, and it's cool that it's like, yeah, they actually did something without like... Granted, a lot of the changes, they don't ever tell us, like, hey, we're doing this. They're just like, hey, what are you guys' thoughts on this? Okay, thanks.
Right.
That's still really cool, though.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool experience.
Or sometimes, like, a lot of times they'll be like, this topic, give us your thoughts. Or in other times, they're like, they will come out and be like, these are our proposed changes. What do you think? But a lot of times it's just like, general subject, go.
Right. Yeah, because they get honest things out of it.
Yeah, it really seems to me like it's been a huge benefit for the community, though. Like, if to me, it feels like it's a better pathway to communicate from being the player and getting over, problems or concepts to the company. I feel like you guys have been a tremendous bridge.
Well,
yeah, it's a lot
even just for a lot of
easier
the little things, I feel like it's nice because, like, for instance, you guys hit me up about the Cucullin Aphrodite with Lotus Crown thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
no one in my friends group play either of those gods except me. So, for the most part. So, I didn't know about it, right? Because I never had both of them on the same team and actually, like, paid attention enough to realize and blah, 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 blah. And so I've asked them, I'm like, hey, I don't know if this is known or not. And they were able to be like, yep, that's known. So I was able to come back and tell you guys that, hey, it's known. So let's say, for instance, that wasn't, you guys, because I know you're not going to go around like talking shit or anything like that. But if it wasn't you guys and it was someone else, right, and they never got the answer on whether or not it's work, they're going around saying, oh, fucking Smite, busted fucking game developers, look at this bug that they got going on. They don't even know about it. And it helps cut a lot of that back, too.
Yeah. Like, there's other things. We had the thing with, there was a weird interaction with Rom that, Dan, was that, or something we noticed like a little while ago. I just messaged you about it. But also, like, I know there was a big push for the Baron, and I'm going to start the drum, because Ullerin's not considered a healer in Assault.
His heal really does suck, though. It's very small.
So does Guan's.
Yeah, but Guan can actually boost his and have a much, much smaller CDR and a much bigger range. It's like twice the range.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it's super noticeable. It's just one of those things. It's like, I get that he's not a healer, but
everyone's standing around him in a circle gaining health while we're standing in a circle wishing we could.
Yeah, I get that, but it would feel really bad to get a Hell versus Oleron.
Oleron?
Yeah.
That would just feel... I mean, against like a Guan, that's a fair comparison, don't get me wrong. Even though Guan does heal quite a bit in my eyes. But
especially
Guan heals deceptively a lot, but you also have to play around him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not being able to boost his heal, like, with some of the mage-based items is, like, kind of sucky, but...
Oh, it was the thing about the Dragon Empress, the Nox Dragon Empress skin, where we were in an assault and we could see 0 animations for 90% of the game.
Oh, because it's so light colored and assault is so bright.
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of issues recently where I can't see people's basics. Sometimes people will full on, their whole character model will just go invisible.
I'm glad you actually just told me that it was the assault match, because I brought that up and they were like, it don't seem too bad. But now that you mentioned it's assault, it makes a lot more sense. So I might have to tell them to take a look at the color comparison on that map.
I just remember, like, I was watching Yuki's screen while I was dead, and, like, nothing happened. Nox all exploded in his face, and he was, like, behind tower. She was in front of it. And I'm like, where did that? Okay. And then, like, another point, she dashed through our team, and I literally had no clue because I couldn't see it.
Yeah. How about Murikin's game the other night?
Oh my God, Fro, you're going to love this. I might have a screenshot for you. It'll take me a second to scroll to it. But Murikin on Xbox loaded into a game, and the entire map was completely black.
Really?
That's impressive.
Except for tower lines and structures, I think. I have maybe a screenshot.
It was so great. Watch every time Dan died, he spectated zombie because he's just like running into walls.
Yeah, we played this whole game out, by the way. I just want everyone to know.
Which way do I go?
Do you have a match ID? Was it like that the entire time?
Yes, the entire match. Time. And we won, by the way. I just want to say, me and Murikin backpacked with no vision.
Do you have a match ID? I would love that. That would be great.
I don't know if we put that in, but probably. But I will check.
Yes, send that my way. By the way, anyone listening, if you get anything like that, send it my way. I send all that shit directly over to Titan Forge. They match IDs help, screenshots help, videos help, any of that stuff.
Collect the data.
Yes,
match
IDs are
I do not have
gold,
a match
though.
ID.
They really are.
But
that in a video. That in a video, because a lot of times people will be like, what happened here? All right, so I got a real quick, for instance, for you, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Hachiman ult. Hachiman ult, right? You can't fire it until someone's in your range. But it is possible, and I had someone send a video, or someone sent this to the Olympians, and like, hey, Hachiman ult fired and did no damage. It's bugged. If you slow it down and look, it actually is because how it works is Hachiman was able to fire and start the firing animation with someone in the range. That person leapt, became untargetable, so Hachiman's already starting to dismount to come off and never actually fires an arrow.
Also,
and that
if
is
you go
something that
behind
can
a wall,
happen.
Hachi ult won't hit you.
Yes, same thing. Ymir pops that last second ult or wall or something like that. That's exactly what's happening. And he reported to us, look, we got a bug. And we were able to, because we had the video, and Flare Boot's the guy who really does this a lot, slowed it on down. And he's like, nope, this is what happened. It looked like here, blah, 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 blah. And of course, Wombat will come in, who are Wombat or Clumsy. They're both some of the developers. They'll come in with the technical aspect of it and be like, oh, yep, there's actually a 0.0, 0.1 fire, pre-fire, post-fire, or animation duration. They come in with all that technical shit and all that. So, yes,
by
match
the way,
IDs
I put
videos,
the screenshot
please.
in the group chat.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
how
what he saw the entire game. And the only reason he can see the ground there is because it's within tower line.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he literally,
Hold up
if you
here.
click
on
on
it...
it...
turn this shit sideways on my phone here.
You literally just see blackness. The entire map is blackness, okay? but he can see through walls forever, but only if other people are in other people's vision. So he can't see them anywhere, but he can see where they are if someone else sees them. So alone, he died 1,000,000 times.
Oh my
But
god!
as soon as it got to the team fight phase, we won because he's fucking Hades.
Could you imagine if he had Giannis? They could just.
Oh, it was.
Oh, Giannis
man.
might be
I'll
OP.
have
He
to
could
post
actually
this
see
in
the walls.
general.
Yeah, Giannis can see the entire side of the map.
I'm gonna ult just so I can see the wall.
Yeah. Wait, is there a wall here? Hold on, let me put a portal on it. Oh, yep. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that
so
was
funny.
that was an interesting match. I can definitely say.
Yeah. All right, let's move along.
Whew.
So games this week.
Okay, I have one right now. Ready?
Uh-huh.
That set game that I played in Assault just a minute ago.
Oh my god, dude. The backpack.
The backpack was on with the chest straps, the belly straps. It had fucking survival tools hanging from it. It had a mining helmet with a light attached. Dude, I was going in. 24 kills is set in Assault. I started off with Heidi
Goddamn.
Urchin because
Well
their
done.
team looked terrifying. And I just immediately bought Bloodforge after that. Or no. Okay, never mind. That's right. I sold boots for Bloodforge. I bought Soul Eater right after that. And that's when things started getting screwy. I got so many triple kills and quadra kills in that match. It's a little obscene.
Yeah, it was.
I literally loaded into that match like, guys, you know I'm a terrible set, right? This isn't going to go well. And apparently, I have spoken too soon because holy crap. We had an Agni that literally didn't know how to use his stun.
Genuinely, I think he
quite
just didn't know how to
literally,
do it.
not trying to be a dick literally, but like literally didn't know how to use it. And then an On Her who any chance he got impaled someone out of our CC.
As you do, as an honor.
And I'm like, okay. The On Her did like 12,000 damage total by the end of the match. I did 50,000. That was a fun match. And the enemy team was a Chalk, Anubis, Scylla, Ularan, and a Kepri. And the Ularan was kicking ass, and I didn't
their own
appreciate
team played
it.
really well.
Yeah, didn't appreciate how hard that Ularan was hitting me, and how often. He needs to get worse at basics. But, yeah, that was my game. That was awesome. That was so much fun.
Yeah. I think there was 2 games before. There was one. Crap, what was one? Oh, we played so many things.
Your
many
Sylvanas
games.
game was pretty fun.
Yeah, the game before that was hot Sylvanas pulls. We had an Athena who could hit them taunts, so they'd get taunted, pulled, and rooted.
Yeah, and Athena didn't waste any time. She 3'd, waited, taunted, so they would just walk into it perfectly in time as it went off. Like, she was playing really well. And then we just augmented that perfectly. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I forget who I played in that one. I played Bastet, I think.
Been playing Fafnir, Horus, because I want to try. Why does Horus do so much damage? That's just not okay.
Actually, Horus support solos me all day long.
He does a lot of damage.
He does a lot of damage.
Like, literally, post level 2, I will not leave my fucking tower if there's a Horus on the enemy team.
Well, I think a lot of
Just
people
straight
forget
up.
that if he hits you with his knockup, the wing gust does more. So that,
Yeah,
and
like
then
that
after
thing
he
just
hits you with his
owns me.
prot shred, and then that, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, he just
chunks.
over half-life me in 2 abilities at level 3, level 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't. It was not pleasant the first time I fought that.
No. Oh, I want to talk about the conquest we played a few days ago, where I ended up where we weren't queuing with a full team, so I changed from Phil support and Phil to what was it, jungle and hunter. Yeah, because you weren't there, Dan. So I had Hunter and jungle, and it put me in jungle. I jungle Naja. I had 16-2.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
I love me some Nasha.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, dude.
Yuki's Naja is sick. If you allow him to not have to build like a Guardian too, ouch.
Oh, I'll carry any mode, man. I'm AA. I'm doing it. I'm gonna have to carry a game where I get 10+ kills and we win as AA Naja.
AA Naja would hurt,
Are we talking like
actually.
Fatalis, Stone Cutting, Aussie, Exy?
No,
That shit would hurt.
I'm thinking more like I think it would work good. You could go like
Crit.
DB at the end if I really wanted to, but Crusher is too good to not miss.
Yeah, that's all okay.
Hasten would be fine.
Yeah, that's really good.
Like I'm looking for the attack speed, but a little bit of balance. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Honestly,
I would throw
if I was
Aussie.
doing it-
Maybe drop the pick up the Aussie instead of your Hasten, and then maybe look at Atalanta's somewhere in there if you can, like 6th item.
Yeah.
I think Atalanta's
I
very
think
underrated.
I would end up going Crusher into Boots into probably Stone Cutting for me.
I think Stone Cutting would be good on her because if you get a couple of bops off and then ult them,
It would just make that final hit of your chain just annihilate. Honestly.
Yeah, but on the same hand, you sash alt a lot of times, and then you don't get the benefit from that.
Right, but he is saying he's going AA, so you know.
You're right.
Yeah, be able to stick to him.
You're looking for more than just the sash alt combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can do all day long. Give it the half-second pause, wait for the beads to come out.
You know what I've seen Yuki and other good Najas do that pisses me off because I don't want more people to do it?
Alt then
when they
sash?
sash my Guardian. No. They sash my Guardian, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. He sashed the Guardian. And then all of a sudden, I'm 10 feet up in the air getting killed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, can you not hit skill shots, please? Like, stop.
Yeah,
That is
dude.
too
I've
much.
gotten really good at just working my way to the back line to get somebody out.
Sash ring the Guardian, that way it slows and shreds the carry.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm good. He just ring tossed. Oh my god, I thought he was gonna. Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
See you guys. Going to the graveyard.
Heartseeker's really fun on him too. Get that Heartseeker,
Yeah.
Crusher, Deathbringer combo on the alt and just delete somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a lot. Hydra's, Naja's got like 2 really good AA cancels in her kit.
Yeah, the ring and the sash. Well, and the heal.
Yeah.
Well, the ring's not the best. The sash and the heal for sure, though.
Yeah, the sash is really good because you get the auto. As long as you're holding it down, you get the auto before they can move.
Yeah, unless they have DRs, of course, which just screws Naja completely.
Yep.
That's kind of my game, just doing support things. The support life.
I haven't gotten any games in since the last time we recorded. Life's been busy. I actually only had one night of gaming, and I did some Civ 6 with a good friend of mine, so... yeah, I had a good Civ game. That's about it.
Hell yeah.
But, you know...
It's just my
definitely,
podcast, you know.
Yeah, it's a Smite podcast, and I'm definitely going through a little bit of Smite withdrawal because it's like, I'm really been enjoying playing on PC. I'm mildly surprised that my convoluted way of playing works enough
Same.
to play the game. And, you know, like we mentioned last time, Dan came down and was watching me for a little bit. He's like, I don't like you. How does that work?
I mean, I play in our matches like part controller, part mouse. So
Yeah.
don't even ask for
Everybody
it.
always
Don't even
asks
ask.
about that, though. They're always like, what the fuck?
Yep.
You bet.
Yeah, I don't know how exactly that works, Yuki, but
It's
in the
a
end,
thing.
you know, interesting stuff.
I can't walk with WASD. That's what it is.
Yeah, I can't either. I just
So I walk
maybe
with an
in
analog.
Minecraft, yes. In a game where I'm fighting for my life and trying to snuff out others, no. Put me on the moving with the mouse. I've been having fun with that.
Yeah. So, Fro, any hot plays this week, man?
I actually haven't been playing as much Smite as I usually do and have been going through a chunk of skill decay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting fragged. Honestly, most of my games, I've just been getting shit on.
We took a week off for our bye week last week, and our first couple games were hell on earth.
Well, I took, let's see, the week I went high res, I didn't play much that week, or the week that I came back. And let's see, I didn't play much last weekend because I went down the river, and yeah, I've just been busy myself as well. But played a few games as Raijin. He's fun. I like Raijin.
We wish Raiju jumped as much as Zeus Lightning.
Dude, sometimes I feel like Zeus Lightning is fucked up. Like it doesn't jump like it should. You know what I mean?
Zeus Lightning confuses me because I don't think it's even in the tooltip, but it always focuses minions.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like if you throw your shield and one combo with a god and a wave in it, it will always jump to the wave and not the god.
It'll jump to the wave first, yeah. But I think I do wonder about his range sometimes, because sometimes it seems like the lightning makes an unreasonable jump.
And then sometimes it makes a very reasonably unreasonable not jump.
See, I'm more like, to me,
sense.
a lot of times it seems like it just doesn't jump like it should. Like it's way too short when I bounce it off the shield.
I think the shield has a weird range. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But then after that is when I'm like, what? That reached me?
Yeah, because I've had ones
Like as
where
soon
it's
as it
like
hits a god,
next
yeah,
to
I
the
feel like it
shield
gets
and it
bigger.
doesn't jump to him. And then I've had other ones where the thing's like, I bounced it off a god and you're halfway back to tower and it still jumps to you. It's like, okay, here.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there.
But it's hard to see with those when you can't see targeters and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's also hard to tell because it's perspective,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
I know I've gotten pretty good at dodging it at times. Like, all right, I know it only hits so many. It's not like the fucking ring toss where it's going to go through everybody. Like
And then back.
It's got that limited number, and just hang back a little bit. Let them think I'm going, but nope, I held back. Aha, you just hit all minions. And then there's times where I'm like running out to tower, and I'm not even in sight of people yet, and it fucking bounces off me. I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd that come from?
You're like,
Right.
there's no one even around me. Like Zeus is in the other lane. What's even going on here?
Yeah.
Actually, I literally have seen it where Zeus was in the middle of an assault lane, but it jumped perfectly from person to person to person to person, way back to me under tower, and it killed me. And I was like, you know what?
Oh,
Today's just not my day.
Tusky Boar.
Today's
When
just
Tusky
not.
Boar does that, I get irate. I hate,
Yeah.
Okay, I love playing with the abilities that bounce, right? Because I like Zeus and
Right.
Raijin and Artemis and the
I like
Shah.
Uyi.
Like
Oh.
I literally got all four of them guys diamond, but I can't stand playing against it. Oh my god, does it
Right.
frustrate me so much? It's just frustrating that why do I have to take damage because you suck at dodging?
Right? I feel that.
That's the frustrating part. Like, because mechanically, I'm not the best, right? I'm not, like, I like
Yeah.
playing carries, but I'm not the best. But I
the
do
same.
know I can juke. Like, I'm really good at being able to juke most of the time. And when I can't
Goddamn
do
juke
that
shoes.
because my ally got hit and I just auto get hit, it's so frustrating for me.
Or oboe. Oh, good lord.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
one. Again, and I love building oboe.
Again, yeah, I love building oboe and watching you guys squirm, but when you do it to me, it's not fair. Just saying.
What is the range on chain lightning? It's not in the
Mm,
tooltip.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's not a lot in the Zeus tooltip, honestly.
I don't know. At Flareboot, he'll have a better idea.
I'll find it.
But yeah,
One
but
way
basically I've
or
just
another.
played a lot of Assault this week. I'm a big fan of the healers, so I usually try to grab up the healers every time I see them. Got a
I'm
Hell,
still
got
not
a
level
Afro.
15.
Oh yeah, your no
Durnap's
count.
dad's still trying to get to
Feels
15
bad.
for assault.
That,
Dude, the last time I played, it was solo queue night, and I just couldn't get the wins until I broke out the big boy Kumba, and then I picked up a couple, but it was just like, I got half a level, I got 3/4 of a level to go yet.
that level 15 feels like it takes a second too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, especially when you're close to it.
29 feels like it takes forever.
Yeah, 29
Yeah.
does take forever. It took me like 3 days of constant playing, basically. And I was winning a lot of games.
I mean, realistically, it probably does take more XP, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should do an update for Chain Lightning that they're like with Raijin, with the Raiju, where it has an AoE around where it's going to bounce.
Maybe.
I wouldn't mind it.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
just
it
honestly,
wouldn't
I
be
think
bad, and it wouldn't change the ability at all. It would just be
they
the
should
same
do. I think they
ability
should
with
do that for all the
vision of
chain
what's gonna
abilities.
happen.
They should do that for all the chain abilities.
Just let me know after the first bounce. You don't got to tell me every bounce. Just let me know where the
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
one's going.
I don't want to see a big fucking huge targeter bouncing around, but
Yeah, but
to
the
at
first
least
one,
see like, okay, if I hit that one, it will bounce to him. That would be cool.
Right.
Go
It
ahead.
might be a clunkily sized circle, though, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, pretty big. So I don't know. Maybe they don't want to make someone a targeter that big.
Nah,
I don't know.
I'm just curious. I have to look.
But speaking of annoying things, I've actually had to play against Lokis again. Dude,
Oh my
when you brought that
God.
up earlier in the Discord, I'm like, dude, it's funny because I've been playing for so long, my account level was so high that if you saw a Loki, it was like, whoa, that's rare.
And it was
somebody was just
because he had 20 stars.
But I've actually had to play against him again recently. It's like, I got to remember all my Loki defenses. All right, good, he's dead.
That character's so weird.
Yeah, I played against one like literally an hour before we started recording. And
yeah, so did we.
I was in an arena, and there was a Nuwa on the enemy team and a Loki. That Nuwa would hit me with her combo, and she was really good with it. And Loki instantly would just do his little shit and kill me. And I was on Cupid, and it's like, okay, here. But
okay.
I also had a Ganesh going full damage and a Cerberus who could give a shit less about peeling or like body blocking or anything supporty.
Peeling? What's peeling?
Well, I mean, Cerberus doesn't really do a hell of a lot of peeling, but
no.
he does have a slow.
He can at least run at them and breathe on them or something.
He does have He does have a slow, a stun, a knockup, and a displacement.
Well, I mean, the knockup and the displacement are both attached to ult, so you can't expect that on a regular basis, especially not in arena. The stun's hard to hit, so I mean, reliably a slow.
A slow if you're lucky.
And even that's kind of a small targeter, so...
Yeah. And you got to be at the right distance, too. You can't be close to them.
Yeah, for the stun.
That's the other thing that's a little counterintuitive. Usually as a Guardian, you're kind of getting up in them to displace them. In Cerberus, you kind of got to take that step back.
Yeah.
I love that little backstep, though. You just backstep while they're running away, and then you hit all four, and they either die or get stunned, and you go up and bite her butt. Yeah. Give me that ass.
Well, we got a hot patch note this week, don't we? We got a new god.
Yeah, Goddess. So we're going to talk this week not about the whole update. We're going to focus here on the long-awaited and often requested for Persephone.
Queen of the underworld.
And a ginger.
I'll tell you what. I was watching this today, and I was like, at first I'm like they kind of like talked about it. I'm like, will you just show me already? Because I'm not sure I'm picking this up. And then they started showing it. I'm like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of cooler. Like, oh, this shit's dope. And then they got to her ult, and that looks like it's going to be fun.
Dude, chaining people to the wall looks so fun. Dude, she's going to be a terror when you see her in the jungle.
Oh, she's going to be broken.
her zoning is going to be so good. You're literally going to look at the enemy team and say, sit there and watch me do Fire Giant right now. Sit there and squirm while we do Fire Giant
I think it'll be solid, but I don't think it's going to be overpowering. I think, there's enough, if there's multiple people there, the basic attacks are going to chew through it pretty quickly. You got anybody with attack speed can get through it pretty quickly. But it's still going to do its job. The fact that it's a global presence and comes at you with that screaming skull,
right?
Is what
I love the blend of life and death, like plants and death. It's so beautiful because it was underappreciated in Baron. Because a lot of people forget Baron's the god of life and death as well, but people just see him like all death because he's got skulls everywhere. But it's like, no, that's why he's got the healing and the brew and the staff that looks like ass claps and I think they nailed it on Persephone though.
Yeah,
I love her like overall character model too with the whole plant and death. Like everything looks really cool, especially her basics. Oof.
Yeah, let's get into her kit here then. And,
all right,
we'll hit it up. So
sorry, I probably derailed that. My bad.
Please,
that's all right.
Derailing is what we do here. So her passive is pomegranate seeds. Persephone gains pomegranate seeds when her harvest plants wither. If she has more than 25 seeds, she can spend these to resist death, continuing to fight for 8 seconds but dealing 50% reduced damage. Additional seeds are sold when she enters the fountain for 3 gold a seed. Persephone can hold 100 seeds.
Whew.
So it's not a monstrous amount, but I've been saying since they kind of revealed this shit, why do mages need more gold?
Because mage items
watching
are expensive.
them play that out today, it's not going to be...
It's not going to be big. It's not going
to be huge. It's going to be a nice little benefit, and it will reward people that are actively using it, like and thinking about it and processing it and doing it.
So
pros are gonna love this, but in my opinion, you're gonna effectively and by the time you get to full build, probably only use this fully like 7 times tops. Tops. Yeah. And 7 times 75, I'm not gonna do the math right now, but I know 7 times fucking 10 is 750, so not a hell of a lot of gold.
It's not really that much gold. It's only a T1 item,
But I think it's very nice. I love when passives are light enough to accentuate or to help get them through. And I think this will help get her to late game. Kind of like a Hachi passive. It sucks that you ain't really got a passive late game, but it really helps get you there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So her basic attacks, we've been begging for this we were begging about this when we first started playing. We're getting our second AoE AA god. So Persephone's basic attacks have an AoE upon hitting a target that activates nearby harvest plants.
Yep. So if you plant... Go ahead.
Right, and the radius is 7.5 units. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch the video yet. Is it just a general... Is it like Sylvanas autos where it's a proper AoE?
No, so what it is...
just for the plants?
So what it is Persephone puts plants down kind of like Vulcan puts turrets down almost, but it's ranged.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
And if she hits a god with a basic that's standing within a certain area of them, it will activate them.
All right. And then her one is Bone Rush. Persephone calls forth a skeletal warrior of the underworld. The warrior charges forward 35 units or until it comes into contact with a god. It charges with such force that when it stops, it topples, sending bones flying forward and dealing damage to enemies in its path.
And in its skull, plants.
Yes, I can read the rest of this.
I know. I was just being...
Yeah. And so the skull from the warrior flies forward and becomes a harvest skull where it lands. So that's pretty sweet. The damage is 100 to 340 plus 80%, so not a small chunk. And 12-second cooldown. Cost is 60, scaling to 80. I like this ability. It reminds me of Medusa too.
Yeah, it's very much so. It's like a Medusa 2. It's like a Outwash 1 meets a Medusa 2, as far as how it travels.
Exactly what I was going to say.
I love how it explodes at the end into pieces. I think thematically that looks cool. It's just one of them, like,
hilarious.
It's very comedic, yes, but it's very appropriate in the way it's done too. It's not like a cheesy comedy. I never got to. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing that they pointed out with it is, like, if you're strafing, it doesn't stay with you. Like, when you fire it, it stays kind of where it's at. So it's kind of like one of those things where it doesn't come straight out from you. It goes from where you were when you fired it. So even as you continue to move. So it looked a little wonky with that, but I think that it's still going to be pretty, not too hard to hit. And also the explosion damage is considered instant.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Basically, it's one of those abilities where you can throw it and walk away, like turn away, and it will still go the correct direction. It won't, like
an Uller 3.
Yeah. Yes. Just like that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance to actually watch the video or watch the patch notes. Well, I mean, I watched part of it, but I didn't get to watch the Persephone part. I watched the actual, like, nerfs and stuff. I was taking my kids out on a bike ride.
Hell yeah.
But
doing that.
If this ability is cleaned up in kind of the way I envisioned it when I saw it at the summit, it's got to look dope. Because we saw, like, a rough bit of it, but like, she wasn't flushed out, and her look and everything, a lot of rough textures. Like, I'm excited for it.
It looks really cool.
Yeah. So her 2 here is Harvest. Persephone places a skull on the ground, max 10, so that's actually a pretty decent number, and activates them with basic attacks. She stores up to 6 skulls. When activated, it heals Persephone. After 4 seconds, it turns into a sprout that explodes, damaging and slowing enemies. After 24 seconds, it turns into a flower that chases down enemies for 3 seconds before hitting them. And enemies recently hit by Harvest take reduced damage from additional hits stacking 3 times. After activation, or 120 seconds, they wither. So the heal is 20 to 50, 22 scaling to 50, plus 10% of your magical power, so not monster, but pretty good. The explosion is 60 to 260 plus 70% magical power. The slow is 30%, which is pretty big. The bite damage is 70 to 290 plus 80% of your magical power. Reduced damage is 50, scaling to 87.5. Cost is 18 to 30, and cooldown is 8 seconds. That's a lot. That's a lot packed in.
The big important thing here is there's plenty of room for skill. You can, when it goes to bite, there is a slight delay, so you can juke out of the frame and stuff like that. So it's not like you can outrun it and so forth. So there's plenty of opportunities to dodge that attack. It's not like an instant automatic hit.
Right. The thing I have to say about it is kind of when you're looking at all these effects, you're like, what the hell? But you got to realize that it only does one of the three things, obviously.
It's not Baron.
So it's not Baron where it does everything.
Baron bloated AF.
Oh, yeah. I still think he was supposed to be a guardian, but... so her 3 is Flourish. Persephone floods the ground under her with life-giving energy that propels her from the ground directly forwards or backwards, based on the direction she is moving. Harvest plants inside the area immediately grow to their next stage and activate. After using this ability, the next harvest cast is pre-germinated and spawns as a sprout. Range is 45. That's a pretty good leap. Cost is 70, and cooldown is 15, scaling to 11 seconds. Lots to talk about here.
Yes.
It's a leap. We have a proper leap on a mage. It's got really good range. 45 is no joke for a leap.
Can go over walls.
Can go over walls.
It's one of the only, I think it is the only leap in the game where the damage and effect happens from where you take off and not where you land.
Correct.
Neath backflip.
Okay, second.
Well, that's also...
I forgot about her. It's been a while.
That's not a proper leap, in my opinion. Neath backflip
It's not, because...
I think it needs some love. The fact that it can't flip over walls, but...
Or at least an Odin cage.
Yeah, but on the same hand, you can still get a Wheelix pulled.
Yeah.
That's true, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like if they want to make it not go over walls, she at least needs to be untargetable.
Yeah.
So, on her jumps here, though, when you go forward or backward, you can go over walls as long as there's a spot to land. So you got to be careful. Some of it's kind of a blind, leap of faith, per se.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're backing into a wall and you just hit your dash, hoping to God you go through it, and sometimes you don't. You just jump up against the wall and face plant. Face plant?
Because she is only the second character in the game that has a leap, and speaking of Neath here, has a leap that goes backwards with you looking forwards.
Mm.
Like, just being able to keep eyes on a target while you're escaping, like, especially through a gank or something, is pretty big.
I don't think anyone else has got a leap like that. A couple of dashes.
Dashes, yeah. Like Rom dash. Who else? Who else has a dash like that?
Thoth.
Achilles.
Right. Achilles has a directional dash.
Thoth.
Yep.
Thoth, yep.
How could you forget that, Yuki?
I know. It's been too long.
That's it, though.
Yeah. So, and they're those are all dashes and not leaps.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and she grows and activates. So if someone comes in to gank you, you can jump back over your plants to have them activate, and the next one you cast is going to be a sprout immediately.
No. You put them down ahead of time, and when you jump away, whichever way you go, the plants around you grow one stage and activate immediately.
And after using this ability, the next harvest cast is pre-germinated and spawns as a sprout.
Oh,
my bad. Both right. But yeah, no, that is awesome because you can get the heals, you can get the explosions, and you can get the plants running all out of one shot. So if you got a big farm around you, probably don't want to go after her.
I already got a feeling in 6 months we're gonna have the same opinion of the Persephones who throw a seed out and then quote unquote backflip and then throw out another seed. Just like when you see a Neath walk up and backflip and go, oh boy, I didn't see that coming. Wow, watch out.
Watch out, oh man.
Yep. And then her grasp of death. Persephone conjures a mass of entrapping vines that she throws forward, entrapping the first enemy god or wall it touches. Entrapped gods are crippled, rooted, and have reduced attack speed. Binding vines then spawn from the entrapped target that seek nearby gods. Upon finding an enemy god, it binds them, crippling them and preventing them from moving away. Entrapping vines are destroyed if hit by 5 basic attacks, ending all effects.
So the big thing that I loved about this is, imagine you're a dog tied up to a chain, and you're at the end of your chain running around in circles. That's the farthest you can go from the center of the ult once you're tethered. But if you move closer, the leash just shrinks. It doesn't go back out.
Oh, man.
So if you walk towards that person that is Persephone ulted and the vines are on you, you're only limiting yourself. So the first thing you have to do as soon as that ult hits is run away from each other as far as possible.
Jeez.
But then you're stuck, right?
Yeah.
So then you got to destroy it. So it's like this weird twist of, do we destroy it fast enough, or do we like just spread out in our little corral and hope to God someone doesn't hit a 5-man?
Yeah.
With 5 auto attacks, I feel like it's hardcore just going to blow it up, because that's really low.
Yeah, I think early game, it's going to be a problem. Late game, the hunter should just be able to chunk it in like 2.5 seconds.
In my opinion, I could possibly foresee her ult getting kind of like a Kumba passive thing, where the later in the game it goes, it takes like a hit more per level or something like that, just to make it more viable in the late game.
Yeah. I mean, if you give it,
we'll see. Obviously,
2 additional points per rank. I guess no, because they'd probably want to keep it at 5 for rank 1, so give it like 3 per rank. So you'd get additional 3 times 4, 12. Man, maybe that's a little high. Maybe just 2.
That's a lot. Yeah,
so I was thinking you could go like 2 or maybe 1.
That'll take it up to 13 auto attacks.
You could do like could do like 5, like 6, 6, 8, or 5, 5, 7, 7, 10, something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, what Kumba gets up to like, what is it, 12, and his is
and you get fragged by a
super
hunter.
Easy late game. That's why I feel like, especially when like you're looking to hit the hunter with this, anyways. Like that's who I want to lock down, and then anyone dumb enough trying to come help this guy is going to get caught in all the AOE.
Yeah, but also this isn't a passive. This is an ult that has a bunch of CC. So
but you're right.
So the damage on this ability, because it's a mage, is 195 to 595 plus 75% of your magical power. Vine damage is 65 to 165 plus 30%. The attack speed reduction, because it needed... I didn't even think about that with the basics. So attack speed reduction is 20 to 30%, which is not a small amount at all.
That's only on the person that's in the center, though.
So duration is 5 seconds, cost is 70 to 90, and cooldown is 90 seconds.
She's nuts.
Like, it's a lot of damage. What happens if you kill the person that you hit with the ability?
It stays there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want
if it hits a wall, a god, it stays there until the effect ends, basically, from what I saw.
It is global in that sense that it will fly until it hits a wall.
And even if the person in the center beads out, it will still, the structure itself will stay.
So you can just throw this down lane like a Murgle?
Yes.
Like a Giannis ult, actually.
Giannis goes through walls.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, so it doesn't go through walls. So like
but Merc, you have to charge it. This just goes.
Today,
yeah, but I'm just talking about the way it works. Like, Merc stops when he hits a wall.
Yeah.
From tier 2, when you can, like, if you aim it just right, you can hit back beside the fountain.
That's actually awesome.
You could actually lock someone in their fountain for a couple seconds just for fun.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's going to respawn in 2 seconds. Watch this.
You say that. That's going to happen on a lot of base defenses. Like, oh, you went back to your fountain to heal? Well, why don't you just fucking sit there as we end?
Exactly.
Yep.
Why don't you guys just stick assault back there for a minute?
Yep, assault. They're like, oh crap, guys, they're gonna spawn any game mode. They're gonna spawn back up, and all right, kill the Titan.
Dude, that back wall by Phoenix, that's where it's gonna rock an assault. Oh, you went to go run back there for protection? Why don't you just sit there as we kill you and your Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna be fun.
Thoughts? She's going to be a little more complicated to play, which I like. I also think that her numbers seem a little high. Like, not crazy, but they definitely seem high.
It does take in my opinion, a skill ceiling though to use the numbers.
Yeah.
Because you have to be really smart about your garden placement to make sure it actually works for you at all.
Right. I'm also looking at like the Bone Rush because it puts down a Harvest Skull. Its damage itself, the one has chunky damage.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't terrible. The Harvest damage is reasonable. I think the bite could be, even though it reduces the damage a lot, which is good because a lot of times with these abilities, it's like it reduces the damage by 15%, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But 50 to 87 on consecutive hits is good. It just means you're going to get that initial damage, which a mage needs. But if you got 10 of these damn things out and you bop somebody with them, they go bye bye.
Yeah.
Magus. I'm thinking Magus looks like it's going to be good on her. Maybe. It depends on how
her
easy
deployables proc it? That's a weird question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a weird question.
No, deployables don't proc item.
Yeah. So, well, sort of. Because Divine Ruin gets procced on the first hit of Vulcan's turret. But yeah, for the most part, they don't. So yeah, all right.
Wait, does it? That's bullshit.
Yeah, the first hit only.
That's actual bullshit. It literally says in the tooltip that it doesn't do that.
Unless they fixed it or it was broken.
That sounds more like a bug.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. We might have to tell the Olympians about it.
I haven't looked at it or paid attention to it. At Wraithen. At Wraithen with that shit. God, her ult looks like her ult's gonna be big. Could you imagine like a Nox and a Persephone just like launching max range ults at you? Like, could you just actually imagine the damage reduction plus the CC?
There's just so much team fight potential with that ult that it makes me squirm.
Yeah.
Both in fear and in excitement.
Harriet's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to pick up. I don't see her flexing a lot. I don't think she's going to be good at flexing. Like, maybe, like, she could flex into solo.
With the sustain, maybe, but I don't think she's going to be like...
Jungle mid.
You think jungle?
Dude, you don't want to fight her solo in the jungle. She's going to sit you in place. True. I mean, it depends, because she does need a bit of a setup.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is like the only thing I'd be worried about there is the setup time she needs.
Yeah. And you only get 120
if
seconds. If
you're doing it the entire game and you're set up somewhere all the time, you know.
Right, but how do you know where the fight's going to be? Because the plants stay out for, 120 seconds, it said?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, say you put, 3 plants on each side of their mid
but then you're committing to
all
only
right,
fight
I dare you
mid.
to come in ever from that angle. I dare you to go get your red right now.
You're throwing
that
one
kind of
out
stuff.
with your
Probably
two,
not
you're
the
throwing
jungle,
one out
but she's
with
staying mid.
Yeah. She could be in solo. She's got a lot of utility, not big CC, but that ult. What I'm curious about is we were talking earlier about when you got the Phoenix defense going on, you're going in trying to get the enemy Phoenix. Her kit defending is outside of her ult. Like, it seems like she's going to be a lane monster and a team fight monster as long as it happens, like, where she's been. Does that make sense?
Yeah, honestly, if you're sitting in your base for a little bit, there's no way someone's getting in on the first try if Persephone's playing well. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, but like, what's the most you can put out? Like, if you're at Phoenix and they come running up at you, you can use your one to throw a body out potentially?
No. I'm saying, like, you're sitting in your base this whole time. You're being pummeled constantly, like that kind of fight, where, like, someone is always pushing a Phoenix or they're always just grouping up and trying to push this Phoenix. You know what I mean? Those kind of games where you're stuck in your base. All you have to do is just use your garden efficiently and they will never get in.
I don't know if you get enough plants out consistently enough. That's I'm talking like numerically.
I mean, you have 6 charges on a max of 10 ability. That's a lot of plants.
Yeah, that's right. She stores them. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that right there. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Like, you try to get in, and she's got 3 plants sitting on the front, and all she does is backflip. Quote unquote backflip away, and they all explode.
Yeah. Again, my whole train of thought was predicated on the lack of being able to get them out. And then 6 charges. So okay, never mind. Take back everything I just said.
Dun.
Yeah, she's going to be a lot of fun. God, there's a real chance she hits like a fucking truck.
There is a big chance that she hits like a fucking truck.
And she's going to be really hard to catch. It depends on the animations for Flourish, how hard she's going to be to pin down.
I'm looking forward to it.
She's not going to be fun to gank.
Yeah, I can tell you that. It's not going to be fun to gank her.
It's not going to be fun to see that alt come screaming at you. Especially when you don't even see her. It's just, you're coming down the lane. I mean, imagine an assault. You're coming out, you come around that first corner, and here's this huge skull just right at you.
I'd probably literally scream, like, if I wasn't expecting it. Like,
Yeah.
holy,
No, it'd be more girlish.
probably.
Yeah. Also, her recolor is dumb. They made the ginger blonde. What's up with that?
I actually thought the recolor looked kind of cool.
It looks really good, but she's a ginger, so, I mean, superior skin, default.
I'm with Yuki on this. Gingers win.
Yeah!
Sorry, Dad, but I gotta take that side. Skin's great, but
It is. No,
She's a
her
ginger.
recolor looks good. I like that the recolor is far enough off that it really looks like a different character, other than like the base model design. The colors with the green and that's got more of that like that life versus her default has more of the death look, which is exactly what they were going for with it.
I like it a lot.
I want to know why it looks like Savvy Squint.
Yeah.
I think
It
she has something to
does.
do with that.
Right?
Oh,
We're on to you,
God.
Savvy. We on to you.
And now the news with Channel 4.
Hey everybody, glad to be back after missing the last couple of weeks due to an internet outage on my end. But nonetheless, here we are. Week 1, we had SSG play Big Toss on Thursday, and SSG looked actually really good in the first game, and it didn't matter. They still fought a Dignitas in that set, and the last 2 games of that set were just not very promising for SSG. So Dignitas take a 3-0 win in that set, and then following day, SSG takes on Splice, the defending world champions, who had a little bit of a roster shakeup. They added in Scream in the jungle, Solo Troll in the solo lane, and of course they traded Sino during the first split to SSG, who moved Andy to the middle lane. That said, SSG did not look good at all in any of these 3 games that got played. Splice took a clean 3-0 set. It's really confusing to me that SSG has a coach of Alpha Jackal who can't be there in studio with them, but they still have his brain trust, and he just hasn't been able to get this team to put everything together consistently. And hopefully they can change that going forward, as it's not looking good right now for them. That's it for that week. We have a couple of statistics for you. The shortest game was Game 3 of Dignitas vs. SSG. It was 20 minutes and 9 seconds. The longest game was 42 minutes and 54 seconds. The deadliest game, which involves the most kills, had 57 total kills, and that was Game 1, the longest game of the Dignitas and SSG set. And the mildest game, the game with the least amount of kills, was Splice versus SSG in Game number 1. Some of the player stats for you. The most interesting one to me is the highest KDA. Solar Troll, not trolling at all. 15-0-22. That means it's a 26-0 KDA, which is absolutely absurd. And then you have Variety of 14.8 going 7-2-45. And then Cyclone Spin right after that going 18-2-16. The KDA of 13.0. Highest skill participation goes to Sino, followed by Trickstank and Cuba Fred. Sino had 82%, while the others had 80%. God stats. The most picked God was Set. He got picked 5 times. He won 4 of those times. On Her was picked 5 times. Only got 1 win, though. And then Zhang Kui, the multiple role mage, picked 4 times, 2 wins, so just 50% there. Most banned gods Geb banned every single game. Erlong Shin banned every single game. Thor banned all but 1 game, and he won that game. Moving on to week 2, we had 4 games this week. The first set was E United taking on SK, and that was a very interesting battle. And at the end of the day, it's going to be E United who takes the 3-1 in the set. Followed that by Rival and Dignitas. This used to be a fierce matchup back when Rival and Dignitas were both fully EU teams in prior seasons, the last couple of seasons. Now, both teams have a mix of European and American players, but it's still the same thing. Rival looks fantastic. Dignitas does as well. Very high performance out of Final K, and both sets he played in this week. Just got to give him a shout out because he's such a good player. It's insane to watch him play that solo lane with multiple different gods and just still have so much success. But 3-1 for Rival there, and then nothing different because the start of Friday, Rival 3-1 PK. Couple of games were close. Rival just shoots them down. Then the last set of the week, SK trying to avenge themselves from Thursday against United. They're going to play Obey in this game, who just picked up the Trifecta roster. Those who don't know, Shook is now the owner of Obey as well as Trifecta, and got Obey back into the Smite scene. And speaking of this Obey roster, they did drop Ionic, they did pick up Mineral, and they did look a lot better initially than what they did the previous split, but they still got some work to do. That said, we saw some fun picks out of Weekend of the Jungle. We saw Terra in the first game and Geb in the second game, and I thought that, maybe Captain Twig would be the guy to initially bring that out, but hasn't quite done it yet. Either way, 3-0 for SK. All right, now to the game section with a few stats here. The shortest game was Rival Dig in Game 4, 21-13. Remember, that was a 4 physical competition with a Guardian, I believe it was. I think it was Fafnir, if I remember correctly, because Mike was trolling and missed 3 hammers. The longest game was 52 minutes and 42 seconds. That was Game 4 of PK and Rival. Deadliest game, PK and Rival. That same Game 4, 52 kills. And Game 4 of Rival and Dignitas had the least amount of kills, considered the mildest game at 21 total kills. And moving on finally to player and god stats. The player with the highest KDA, Paul, right? He's right there. 6.4, 50, 11, and 41. Got to have an amazing Hebo game, and the last game he played, I think it was 12-1. He played absolutely insane, but Panicat played pretty well to be second on the KDA charts. 42, 16, and 44. And then Benji of United going to be 3.8, 17, 8, and 35. Highest score participation was Ice Ice Baby at 59%, Moswall at 81.8%, and Variety at 81.3%. So very close between those 3 players. As far as the god sets go, the most picked god was Set, picked 9 times, banned 6 times. He won 5 of them, so 100% participation this day. King Arthur was banned 4 times, picked 9 times, only had 4 wins, so below 50% on the win ratio. AMC picked 9 times, only had 2 wins, so maybe we saw good enough nerfs to keep him out of the meta, but we shall see how that goes. The most banned god, Kronos, every single game. Isis got banned 13 times, picked twice, 50% win ratio. Zonkui banned 10 times, picked 4 times, won 2 of those games, just like Thursday. The most wins were on Athena, who had 100% ratio with 4 out of 4. Hunbots, 3 out of 4, and Hebo, also 3 out of 4. And that's it for this week, guys. See you next.
All right. Well, let's move on to this week's session of progression, where we're going to break it on down for Baron Samedi.
A lot of
We should
comparisons.
have grabbed
this
some
week with this
brew.
guy. Yep. Well, Dano,
What kind
take
of
it
lore
away.
you got there, Yuki?
Oh, that's right. I got to do lore. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
I'm here.
I was
Wow.
like, wait, why am I not ready?
I
And then
didn't
was
forget,
ah,
and you did. Jesus. The
Jeez.
hell.
So,
What kind of shit show are we
You see what
running?
I got to put up with out here, folks?
I don't know. So, Baron Samedi is a god from the Voodoo pantheon, and that is a lot in the Creole South here in the U.S., but also it comes over from South Africa a lot as well. So that's kind of the basis. It changed a bit into what Baron Samedi is for us here in the States. But he is the master of the dead in Voodoo. He occupies a popular place as a guardian of cemeteries, which the coffin, I mean, I think that, like, we'll get into it, but his kit versus lore is like spot on, which is really great. He's also responsible for the transportation of spirits to the underworld. And I lost my place. Ha. So he's often portrayed as kind of like wacky, if that makes any sense. Like he's kind of like over the top. You know, he's always depicted with that top hat. He gets depicted as...
You mean the guy who does a jumping, like, 360 splits is portrayed as wacky?
I know. One thing we didn't get in the kit is that he's
like
often...
literally black Jim Carrey from The Mask. Like,
yeah.
That guy? Wonky?
Yep.
Dude, when's the mask skin coming out? Like, seriously.
Right. He's often portrayed with half of his face painted white and half of his face painted black, kind of going with that, you know, dead and healing thing. So he's pretty yeah. He's pretty well on point for the game. He plays a big role. He's part of the Gwade family, and it's one of the families of Loa. It's really tied in with the worship and religion and ancestor worship in voodoo.
Hoodoo?
Voodoo that they do so well.
That's Dan with the abilities.
Yeah.
Hoodoo that
Oh,
voodoo,
you
bitch.
like that?
All right. His passive, and my favorite part about having Baron on my team, Baron shares Baron's Brew, a powerful restorative chalice, with his allies from the item shop. Oh, the passive's called Hysteria, by the way, but the first part's about Baron's Brew. Enemies hit by Baron will have Hysteria applied to them. Baron's abilities interact with Hysteria to provide bonus effects. Targets at max Hysteria take 20% additional damage from Baron, because that's fair. Stacks up to 70. Applies 2 stacks per basic. And each ability also has a unique amount. Baron Samedi's first ability, Vivid Gaze. Baron Samedi animates 2 skulls, both which briefly warm up before firing 2 beams of voodoo magic that damages enemies. The beams cross over wherever Baron Samedi was aiming. Enemies hit by both beams take 15% damage on the second hit. If the enemy god is above 30 Hysteria, their physical power, magical power, and attack speed are reduced. The damage is 60 to 240 plus 60% of your magical power. The power reduction is 30%. The attack speed reduction is also 30%. The Hysteria per hit is 10 for a max of 20. The range is 60, the cooldown is 9 seconds, and the cost is 55 to 75 mana. His second ability, Consigned Spirits. Baron Samedi guides restless spirits to the ground and buries them. After a brief delay, the ground erupts, damaging enemies standing in the area. If an enemy god is hit, friendly spirits fly from the area and heal allies near the explosion or by Baron Samedi. If the enemy god hit is above 30 Hysteria, the friendly spirit cleanses any allies' slow effects and increases their movement speed. The damage is 70 to 290 plus 70% of your magical power. The flat heal is 40 to 140 plus 10%. The missing health percentage heal is 10%. The increase in movement speed is 25%. The Hysteria per hit is 20. The cooldown is 15 to 11 seconds, and the cost is 60 mana at all ranks. His third ability, Wrap It Up. Baron Samedi throws his snake forward, wrapping any enemy god hit and dealing damage every 0.5 seconds for 2.5 seconds, and applying a ramp to root. If a god is hit above 30 Hysteria, the snake will also lash out at nearby enemy gods who stand too close after 1 second. Enemies hit by this are injected with venom that ramp to root and deals the full damage over time immediately. This applies up to 40 Hysteria total and deals a total of 50 to 210 plus 25% of your magical power. The damage per tick in the breakdown is 10 to 42 plus 5%. The slow duration is 1.75 seconds, and then you are rooted for 0.75 seconds. The Hysteria per hit is 5, the range is 60, the cooldown is 14 seconds, and the cost is 60, scaling to 80. And then the ultimate Zuck, his fucking ultimate, oh god. Life of the party. Baron Samedi pulls the souls of the living towards his coffin, becoming CC immune and taking 35% reduced damage. Enemy gods within range are pulled towards the coffin and take damage every 0.33 seconds. When an enemy god gets too close to the coffin, their soul is ripped out, causing them to be stunned, take a large amount of damage based on their total health, and gain max Hysteria. This ability persists for 3.5 seconds or until an enemy god is pulled to the coffin. If targets being pulled are above 30 Hysteria, the pull strength is increased. This applies up to 50 hysteria, and Baron Samedi suffers a 60% movement speed slow for the duration. The damage per tick is 17 to 45 plus 6% of your magical power. The damage on hit is 100 to 380 plus 50% of your magical power. The total health damage is 10%. The stun is a 1.5 second stun, 5 hysteria per hit. The range is 60, the cooldown is 90 seconds, and the cost is 70 to 90 mana.
This guy.
Talk about bloated ass fucking kid.
Yeah, that was a lot of reading right there, because there's a lot to every single ability.
Yeah. It's a good thing Dan's been brushing up on his LeVar Burton Reads podcast.
Definitely.
Like, what CC doesn't he have? Like, a disarm?
Yeah, you're right.
Careful.
He's just rough, man. Like, you could be because of his percentage damage increases on, like, fucking everything, or percentage swings in a different way, like power and attack speed, like, he could be so impossible to fucking kill sometimes. And man, it's the most tilting thing when a Baron goes from 1 HP to half, and then you're dead.
See,
and by the way, he
reminds me a lot
tank.
of an RDO, where I'm like, okay, this whole bunch of bloated abilities, they're gonna change this aspect, and then they didn't, and they changed everything else. Like, I didn't expect them to not want to touch Baron's heal, and I expected them to, like, okay, he's a mage, let's make sure he still does some damage, and they nerfed the damage and left all the other bullshit. It's like, oh, well, I didn't.
The heal is
I kind of expected
huge.
Like you to tweak the heal, and I mean, granted, they've tweaked everything, but I kind of expected like the attack speed to be removed, the power decrease to be removed. Like, why is that neat on your wave clear that already gets 15% more damage if you hit with both? Like, just reward me by doing that. Like, that works.
Yeah, like, his one, they could just drop all of the fucking shit on his one, and it's still a good ability.
And then give it some more damage back, because its damage is pretty bad right now.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't get it. The attack speed slow is fucking weird.
It always feels bad, too. Because, like, you're like, he hit me with his one. Well, it's got a 9-second cooldown, right? And how long does the slow last? Does it say?
It's probably like a second or two at least.
So, like, 40% cooldown. It's now at like 6 or 7 seconds, maybe. Then he's got Chronos. So you're almost literally always like at a disadvantage when you're fighting Baron, because he's using one ability or another that just swung it in his direction.
I think the power shred is
really
huge.
annoying.
The power shred is
The power shred is huge.
This is how come Baron support and tanky Baron is a thing. This is why you want cooldown Baron. I mean, I get it. I like. It's again like the RDO one. RDO, I don't like what they did with her, because I expected them to remove a lot of the extra bullshit she had and leave her as a tank that can heal up a lot, whereas now she can't really heal that much, not like she used to.
Yeah,
but they left all the other bloated shit in her kit, and I didn't like all that. But with Baron, I still like what they do, because I like healers, and I play a lot of healers, and I like the utility mages. So it works for me, but it's awkward. But yeah, you want to get him a lot of cooldown so you can spam his abilities, so you can keep that hysteria.
The double heal.
Yeah, the heal, the root, the power shred, their movement speed from the
slow
heal,
cleanse. That's huge. Cleansing slows is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And movement speed buff.
Yeah, like, and it's basically a free sprint.
Yeah,
literally.
and 3.5 seconds of 35% damage reduction.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Baron with the frickin' Pridwin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was sitting here thinking. I'm like, I need to revisit him as a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pride one would be really good, because you get that shield to survive your ult, and then once you give them the good old suck and pull them in all the way, they take all that damage, and then you're going to explode your shield right after that.
And
Yep.
if you have a lot of cooldown or you didn't use it, your snake's up, so then you just stick them right there and VEL as they explode from all your Pridwin proc.
Yeah.
Hopefully
And then-
you didn't use it though.
So how do you like to build your Baron here, Fro?
I assault main, by the way. Throw that out. So I usually go bruiser.
Why
I
not?
either start. There's a few builds I do on the Baron, depending on the team. You got your Lotus Crown Specialist Blessing, so you can just spam your abilities and not worry about cooldown. You get that makes your heal super impactful, but on the same hand, it literally kind of turns you into one trick. If you can't hit your heal too consistently, you're not getting your Lotus Crown procs, and you're not getting all the other bonus from that, so it kind of sucks in that aspect. Or I like to go a Pythagorean's Peace into like Mage's Blessing, Attacker's Blessing, something like that.
Pythags is an underrated item.
Very underrated, dude. We over on Battlegrounds of Gods there, we actually had a section where we did underrated items, and Pythagorean's Peace was number 1 underrated item.
Yeah, honestly, I've always wondered why nobody picked it up, but then I was like, well, I'm not going to pick it up because nobody else picks it up.
You know,
it's
as
not
a single lifesteal item, it gives the most lifesteal.
Yes. It's awkward. It's like, it's not that it's bad, it's just a little, it feels awkward.
Well, this is one thing we brought up about it too. It's not meant for you to frag. You pick it up so your person next to you frags. Because there's better power options. Like, there's way better power option. It only gives like 70. But the fact that you're turning around and kicking 30 to the mage sitting next to you, if you're building like support Baron and you pick this up, or the fact that you just gave him 30 power, that's pretty impactful. Well, 30 power to everybody. Well, it's 20, I think, on your physicals, but blah, blah, blah. But anyways, another one I like on him, which is fun, is I like to go a little zoomy. Granted, they're nerfing this, so I don't know if any of it's really relevant anymore, but it's still kinda.
Sad face.
I pick up your boots and your Specialist Blessing right off the get-go. Go right into Shaman's Ring, although I don't think that's going to be possible anymore because they're removing that.
Yeah.
And then I go into your Shield of Regrowth, because you get the movement speed from your heal, then you get the Shield of Regrowth proc, and then Bumbas. But I think Bumbas and Shamans are off that now, and you're just sticking to your Specialist Blessing, boots, and Shield of Regrowth. But for other game modes, I would definitely... He's a start boots kind of guy. You want that movement speed just because he gets called out so easily. And then usually I go into either like some good power spike item like a Bancroft's Talon or an early Soul Reaver, although sometime it depends. That's a situational one. But Russian a Divine Ruin or Spear of Magus feels really good on him. He loves his Magus because what is it? All but one of his abilities have multiple instances of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like even the laser counts as 2 instances of damage, so you get 2 procs there. The snake will shred him fully. Your suck will shred him fully. But on the same hand, that's also why he spreads divine really well. ISO is really good on him, but don't build that early. He's just very flexible. There's a lot. It just depends where you want to take your Baron. But I definitely suggest you go a bruiser rebuild with him.
Yeah. Yeah, before the movement speed nerf on his ult, you could even play him in the jungle.
Yeah, you really could.
Jungle Baron was a thing.
You get all the movement speed, you get your Bumbas and all that. You hit your 2 to get really zoomy, and then you just ult them.
I remember ulting
or sprint ulting.
Some poor bastard.
That was a good one.
Yeah. One of my favorite dick moves was instead of actually going into the lane as Baron Jungle, you would just, as they're running away or trying to hide under their tower, you just suck them against the wall and hold them there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then your teammate just drills them while they're just stuck against a wall. Yeah.
Because the ult goes through walls for no good reason.
I do find that a little odd.
It is really weird, right?
Thematically, I find it odd, but on the same hand, it makes a lot of sense because coding-wise, because you can spin it and turn it and all that. That'd be such a pain if it got stopped on every wall. And the targeters, it would be so awkward. Think about that, is if you're trying to like dodge it and you're like, someone throws up like a Ymir wall and there's just only a little bit of it, and are you in the right spot? Are you in it or not? And they'd have to like literally, because it either the wall would have to stop all of it or none of it.
Yeah.
Coding wise.
And my answer, and my combined answer for that is Opwatch, ult, Ymir wall, and Hachiman ult.
Yeah, but those have
instant damage, right?
Yeah, well,
it's
or
an instance of damage.
And because Opwatch ult is like ghosts for one, that's supposed to be like traveling through the ground, whereas this is like one focal point that's supposed to be sucking things in. That's it's like thematically, it doesn't make sense. Gameplay wise, perfectly makes sense, and I love it.
I guess you could argue for the thematically, he's pulling your soul, and your soul can't hide behind wall.
I guess, technically it is pulling your soul and not doing a tornado thing. So, yeah, there you go. You just solved it for me.
That makes sense.
Great. I love it.
That makes sense. There we go.
Nailed it.
Baron explained.
All right.
Moving on.
Baron ult explained.
Counterplaying him is he's really good. He can be counterplayed. I still think his ult's a little hard to counterplay. But the rest of his kit, it is a ramp to root for his 3, so you can beads it and you'll beads the entire CC effect. You can still dash when you're rooted, so you can dash out of, like, typically you get rooted followed by the heal, so you can dash out of that. His 1, you just want to juke to the side, going back and forth. It's like with Giannis. It doesn't help too much. But his ult is still such a pain in the ass.
It is,
yeah.
but you want to save your... If you're going to beads it, you don't want to beads it early. You beads it late.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I guess it's not so bad now, because it used to be you couldn't get away with dashes before the movement speed reduction.
Right. Now you can kind of leap out of it no matter where you're at and be pretty safe as long as you do it right timing.
Yeah.
I've noticed myself, like, I barely ever get hit by the Baron ult now, because, like, I just know what to do. But,
I think a lot of that had to do with that movement speed nerf that it was one of them quality or feel type nerfs that a lot of people like. Didn't seem like it was a big thing until it's gone.
It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they should give a little bit of the move. I think 60% is a little extreme. Because he, like, after that, he kind of just disappeared.
I don't know, man. I'm all right with it being like you with how impactful this can be. I'm all right with you, and you can aim it and re-aim it. I'm all right with people not being able to move around that much. Like, you chose to fight
and like
there.
being able to literally just control 5 people to the point that they can't move their own character.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
it's reasonable, but like also playing a lot of Baron, it's like give me like 10% back, 5%.
5%?
5%?
1%! I'll beg!
Give you movement
I'm
speed in
on
your
my
ult if you
knees
take
here,
it off your
buddy.
heel.
Yeah, I know, right?
You already got 1. You don't need another.
Yeah. And also, big thing with counterplaying him, you can dash towards the side of him, and if he doesn't turn fast enough, you can get out of the ult. But
That's
you kind of want to punish him
probably
early.
a better idea most of the time, too, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't have an escape. His escape is to blow you up. Other than his insane slow / speed buff. So you do want to, he's still pretty gankable. You definitely want to get him if his ult's down. You absolutely want to look to gank him because he won't have the ult for the protection reduction, and you can blow him up pretty easy that way.
Yeah, the lack of escape can definitely be his demise often.
So
yeah, but it also means that he could. The only problem with that is he can dance around in circles for 2 hours while he just hits his 2 and continues to.
Yeah.
And that's why we're buffing
that kind of
Bumbas, or nerfing Bumbas.
Thank God for that.
That's why we're nerfing all of the movement speed.
Yeah, we'll get to that next
week. Yep.
Yes, but
I will say, we got a lot of talk about that. Lots and lots of Olympian feedback about movement speed, like over the past year. Lots of it.
Oh yeah, when we recently had a game where we had a Nemesis build like 3 movement speed items, and it's like we literally can't even right now. Like nobody can
with
catch
a double dash and those 3 movement items. Like I watched Yuki, and he would CC her once, she'd dash out of it. He'd try to CC her again, and she'd be too far away. It wouldn't matter, and one of our carries was magically dead.
Yeah,
and we're okay.
Oh, she was magically delicious.
It was really frustrating.
She was really good in M too.
Yeah. So, as the most important question of every podcast, favorite skin?
That's a tough one because he doesn't have a lot, and all of them are pretty decent.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
But
except for
They're all
Illuminator.
solid.
Illuminator's ugly.
the Illuminator is ugly itself, but the abilities will sell that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the Golden Touch. It's just kind of got that classy look to it.
Which one's Golden Touch? Is that literally just his golden one?
That's
The
the,
white-
white
the
skin
white
you
with
got
the white
for it.
one. kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I
For
like
the
that
Haven.
one. That one's all right.
I like Count, honestly. I think it's like a cool, different take on him. I know it's not as Baron-esque as Baron usually is, but like, I like that one. I don't know.
I like the special ability or the special emote for
The radioactive
Half-Life,
one,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sailing around on my coffin.
Right.
But I would have to say this guy, for me, default. They nailed the default so well.
The
It's
default's really
It's
good.
just really,
Yeah.
really, really good. There's some guys
Yeah.
that
Yeah, I
like you
wouldn't even
can't
argue
really
with that,
top their
honestly.
default skin, and this is definitely one of them.
It's a lot of Baron. God, he's got a lot of fucking shit in his kit.
I
He
feel like I'm
really
still
does.
talking.
It's so
I feel like I'm
bloated.
still reading. Honestly, like I feel like I should still be reading with how bloated he is.
Come back next week for Baron Part 2.
Part 2, where we just talk about the fact that his 3 can CC the entire team and deal
And his-
a shitload of damage to the entire team.
And his 2 has an entirely fucking enormous range of healing. Oh god, it can hit people that are like a mile away at the end of its range and beside Baron. Ugh.
I am just glad that he is now a healer in Assault.
Yeah.
Yes.
I personally hard disagreed with him being a healer in Assault. And I even, I still am not a big fan of it. But it is something
Right.
I did push for in the Olympian there, because there was a lot of people who wanted that.
Like,
It just
He may not be the best, but he can do it.
the thing
Right.
about Baron is, and I saw it in like you guys' stats that you showed and everything, or high res stats, whatever. I don't remember who did it, but
I mean, that's what
I
we talked
remember
about
when it
those
was a-
ones, so yeah.
yeah, it was like a big, when it was still a big thing that everyone was talking about. Baron was at like this low end of healing, and I'm like, how? Every Baron in my game heals for like 20k, and you're saying he heals for 7k average a game? And I'm like,
Average.
how?
Average.
Right. But it's like, I'm seeing these Barons that are healing for massive amounts, and I'm like, how is this not a healer?
Well,
and
I
we
mean,
don't even
that's-
have anybody
if-
that heals,
A lot of that has to do with, too, people will still just level the 1 instead of leveling
Right.
the heal. That makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
makes a
Yeah.
big difference.
It's like when you see Cupids that only heal for like 400, you're like, how is that even possible? And then every time I play Cupid, I at least pull out like 6k healing. Because in Assault,
Yeah.
I level my
Right.
heart bombs.
Yeah, when you look at those statistics and you look at it you're looking at it for just Assault. Like,
Those,
and-
well, yeah,
and I-
because they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it's one of the, I would never consider him a healer in any other game mode. But with the Assault map being so narrow and so clustered 90% of the time, in that game mode, hitting his, if you miss every other heal, you're still hitting it quite a bit, and it's not even necessarily, because the whole argument really breaks down to is it's a conditional versus an unconditional heal. And the push for it is one, is it's a lot easier to hit an Assault, and two, it's how much it actually heals.
that's
Like,
the
Actually,
big one. It's-
3,
well,
it was also on the old map too, so it didn't have the extra space.
Right. When they did make that
This
change.
map, I'm not sure it would be as bad comparatively, but
It's still pretty bad.
I mean, it's still a pretty small map, and there is a lot to it, and especially on the Assault map that heal is really, really good for.
Yeah, because
And-
I mean, you can heal your entire team from
Pretty
dead
easily.
to 50%.
Pretty
Yeah,
easily. You got
easily.
2 people diving them and the 3 sitting back, and you still get your heal off on your whole team. It's pretty
Yeah.
reliable. But also, I will say that a lot of time when I made that stance about how he shouldn't be a healer, I was fucking expecting them to fucking nerf the heal. What the fuck? Why didn't that happen?
Yeah, I
Why
know.
did that never happen? Like,
The 10% is just obscene.
I'm sitting here like, nah, he doesn't need to be a healer. It's fine. Instead, they just need to, take a look at it and tweak it a little bit. Meanwhile, they didn't touch the percentile health heal for like barely at all,
And
or
To be
the
fair,
heal
with
at
that
all. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well, okay, well,
To
it's
be
being
fair,
a lot
with
harder
that
to defend
perspective,
this
I
when you're
wish they
not
would have just
nerfing
nerfed the
it.
heal. Yeah, I wish they would have just nerfed the heal. Like,
Yeah.
if that perspective was taken, that would have been even better for me because, during that time, he was the most broken thing in Conquest ever because he just healed everybody for full.
See, I
Yeah,
liked
twofold.
Damage Baron because I played him. I got him to Diamond when he came out, right? Sorry, I know y'all hate me now,
Yeah.
but I got him Diamond when he came out, and I loved Damage Baron. But
Yeah.
it's a good thing I like healers, or I wouldn't find current Baron nearly as fun.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's also the thing is like the other big thing with this heal is it's an instant heal. There's no heal over time. It's you land it, people healed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a 1.5 second, maybe at the longest travel time if you're far away from the impact of the heal, but still, it's like, boom, heal. It's not like a Hell 3 where it's like, okay, I hit everybody on my team, they get a couple ticks. Hell 1, on the other hand, where it's an instant heal, it's a major skill shot. It's like a super thin line, and you have to hit it.
Yeah, and that's
Baron
that's-
heal.
Baron heal is a skill shot.
Oh yeah, it is for sure.
Technically, it's just a
Technically.
circle on the ground.
But with his CC and with his wideness of his circles, it
His
is
girth.
way more confirmable
circumference.
than a Hell 1 per se. And like the instant heal is pretty huge.
Right.
Yeah, like because if it were a heal over time, you could still potentially pop somebody before they gain the health back. But when they just heal up, and you're like, well, this is unfortunate.
Yeah.
No, I just I expected them to, a lot of the bloated stuff to the ability, all the fancy little doodads they added, like the movement speed. I expected that to be looked at a lot harder. The slow immunity, I expected that to disappear. Like,
Yeah.
if you weren't going to nerf the movement speed down quite a bit, I expected that the slow immunity to disappear. One or the
He can-
other.
Yeah.
The
he can run the fuck away
percentile
with
heal
that
and the
movement
flat heal. I expected one of the two to get nerfed to the ground, and then, or the other to disappear. Neither of that really happened. He's
Yeah.
a really good guy. You guys should give him a shot.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
And he's very versatile too. I mean, that's what I've enjoyed about him. But I don't own him now because I'm on PC.
You know,
Oh, that sucks.
for whatever reason, you saying that just made it dawn on me. Ass claps. That was the other item I was trying to think in the movement speed Baron
Yes.
build.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm,
Thank
yeah.
you. You said
Yeah.
versatile,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I'm
always
like,
good
yeah,
for
you can
bringing
go
the ass
healer
claps
and
out.
build ass claps, and
Yeah.
there we go.
Back when you could just make him chug down middle lane at 1,000 miles an hour.
He still
Yeah.
can.
He's
Yeah, you still can.
Alright. Well, folks, we're about at that time. So, Fro, why don't you let people know, how they can get a hold of you, give some shout outs to your own podcast and so forth, and where they can look that up and, all the good stuff.
Wait, for us, a podcast?
Yeah, I do. Every
I
once
think
in a
so.
while. All right, so this is a bit of a list here. You can find me at fro_double_G on Twitter, Discord, Reddit. There's one more, but I'm forgetting it. That's where you can find me there. Oh, PSN on PlayStation. If you want to group up and play, chit chat, that's where you can find me. I am on the Xbox as DepVea1771EST. Very convoluted. It's posted on my Twitter. You can check it out. If you want to hear more of me ranting away on a fellow Smite podcast, you can find me on Battleground of the Gods. Same places pretty much, so you'll be able to find Split Push, I imagine, here. I listen on SoundCloud. I don't know where else you guys are on.
8,000 platforms, depending
Yeah,
on
I
which
know.
podcatcher
We
it
got
is.
we're working on our iTunes because we had problems with our RSS feed. But
Yeah.
we're on
I
Spotify,
can handle all
and
that shit.
SoundCloud, and Acast, Podcast Republic, Podbean, blah 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 blah. Just look up Battleground of the Gods. You can find us there.
You're on YouTube now too, right?
Yes, we're back to YouTube. We lost a co-host not too long ago. He had some IRL stuff happen, and then he just decided that he's kind of getting out of Smite, getting a little bored. Unfortunately, that was one of our editors and the one in charge of most of our social accounts and the posting the YouTube. So our RSS feed got really screwed up, but we're getting it all back in line now. We're slowly getting back on YouTube. Depp, one of my co-hosts, is about every other day been posting one of our backlog episodes. We're down about eight more or 6 more, I think, until we're fully caught up. So within the next week or two.
We still got some of our earlier episodes that aren't on there, but
they
were pretty shitty anyway.
Yeah, we don't have any of our earlier episodes because we did a partnership with NCS Music to get our outros each week.
Right.
And everything before that, A, NCS didn't really want us to use, which is understandable, and B, we would never be able to monetize because we used to use, for our outros, different songs. Like we would do, like popular songs that we don't own the rights to, but we weren't collecting money on any of that stuff. But as we progress and attempt to make a little money off this YouTube stuff to pay for some back-end stuff, you guys know how that goes.
To pay for the money I hemorrhage every month?
Yes, that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Yuki Daddy.
Yep.
Ryu Kotse Daddy. That's what I call him. I'm looking at this pretty keyboard, this pretty mouse, my headset.
My carry can't be missing keys because his keyboard doesn't have anti-ghosting.
Oh my god. Bro, okay. I had a keyboard
you ever hear
with
the
no
expression
anti-ghosting?
F in the chat, right?
Yep.
It kills me because I look at my keyboard and I'm missing one key, and it's the F key. Like, but I can't F in the chat.
Your F's busy already being in the chat. We're dropping them for you, trying to pick one up. Try and pick one up.
Right.
No.
Shit.
But yeah, my old keyboard, if I was moving if I was hitting W and A to move, I couldn't hit a relic. It would not work. Like, it would just not go off, ever. So I would die constantly because my beads would go off, but not my aegis, because it would be too many keys. Rip.
Good times.
Poor Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, Yuki, how about yourself?
You can find me on Twitter at RyukoteYuki, and you can find me on our computer, because I can't talk tonight. You can find me on computer at YukiGaming22. Just, swing it, say hi, whatever. We picked up some friends playing today. I don't know if you got any friend requests, Dan, but I got a couple, and I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah, I got a couple friend requests recently. I got one today, and I don't know who it was, so I'm going to look at my history and see if they were a jerk or not first.
Well, that would definitely make sense, Dan. Definitely look at that.
People like to BM me, bro. I don't know what it is. I am always the one that gets told to kill himself every game. And it's like, why me? Pick on someone else. He has more deaths than me. Pick on him.
We're going to get a hold of you, Dano.
All right, you can find me on the Crossplay continent at DirtNapDan. No spaces, no X's, no funky shit. Good name. On PlayStation, you won't find me, sorry. And you can find us all on the official Split Push Twitter at Split Push Podcast with no A.
Where's your Twitter, Dan?
Yeah. Dude, whatever. I'll make one. I just hate Twitter.
You'll get there.
Our Twitter guy hates Twitter.
Everyone's on the official Twitter, so it's okay.
Yep.
But I hate Twitter.
Well, don't forget there's also Guy and Beagle out there. Listen to an episode they're on. They'll tell you their shit. I don't have it memorized. Beagle Girl, and some numbers. Guy Smitey, blah, 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 yakking schmackety.
Guy all potty mouth.
Guy all potty mouth.
As for myself, good old Dirt Nap's dad, I am fully on PC now, so it's just Dirt Nap's dad. It's a capital Y.
Oh, you don't play on PS4 at all either?
I haven't since I made the switch. I paddled across the ocean, and since everybody left before me, I had to paddle by myself. And I'm like, I ain't going back. That was too much work. So, now I'm still Dirt_Naps_Dad on Twitter, and that is what I am on PlayStation if I ever visit the islands for good old time's sake. I don't know. But, the only other thing I got to say is, hey, when it comes to Dirt Naps, you gotta give them before you take them, and when all else fails,
Split
push!